Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risk and should only be attempted with funds that you can afford to do without. All right. Get started with the week. Pound Aussie picked up a long and is back at the entry right now. Crude oil missed the short trade a little too early, so we pick up a long trade 901.44 from 81.36. That picks up target 1 at 81.50 and target 2 at 81.59. 14 and 23 ticks for 37 ticks on the morning. One and done session. Good morning, Miles. All right, unleaded gas. We have a long trade at 1 second after 9. That same bar was up midway between entry and target. Never came back to the entry, so that's a no trade. Getting to money management and stopping out at break even, but that's a no trade. So this is not necessarily a trade plan trade. This is the 200 EMA trade. But it's one I like to show just for illustration purposes. Today it was definitely the trade to be in. Picking up 22 or 35 ticks depending on whether you were at target 1 or target 2. And trailing up to 91.04. From our entry at 90.76, 28 ticks on the trailer and a one and done session there if you use that trade. If not, you get a long stop and reverse to short that doesn't make any targets, comes back for the break-even stop. And then you have a short stop and reverse to long. Same thing. Break even stop, no targets. Two, three, 4 trades. 2 losses, 2 break evens. That one is probably avoidable on the short. And you get a long that's maybe that stops and reverse to short ultimately. And looks like that might work. Yeah, that worked itself out, giving you a target 2 and a solid trailer for trade number. That was trade number 6. So that ends the session. I would say with two stop and reverse, actually 3 stop and reverses, you're probably at best right around break even. So that was a tough session this morning. If you didn't take the early 200 EMA trade. Market is open. We have a short on the YM. Just triggered in. Definitely should be in that. And a long setup on soybeans. And that just triggered in. Russell picks up a short. That's a larger than normal trade. Let's see. 4 points at target 2, so I would use target 2. We did hit target 1, and that will be a stop at 43, I think. Yeah, 11.8. Although it's not showing it, but that's so it's showing stopping out at 14.6 because it stopped out on that bar and didn't get a chance to set it, but it actually should be a break-even stop at 14.3. So we bring up micro NQ and see where we are with that. About 40 seconds from our start time. This is a get in sync on the long. 25 seconds. Money management and target 1 on soybeans. 10 seconds for the micro NQ. In our session, put your trade in. Short trade on the Russell. And the YM short hitting money management, looking for 183, and there's target. So the YM will be one and done this morning, as will soybeans, stopping out for a tick on the trailer. So 3 positions, 3 ticks, and 7 ticks, 10 ticks net. Good morning, Miles. Good morning, Krista. Good morning, Mark. Not a whole lot I can do about that. That's just that's the fans in my computer. Unfortunately, Mike is picking up more than I'd like to. Good morning, Pamela. Yeah, I'm hearing him more. I got hearing aids a couple of weeks ago, and now I'm hearing him sitting in front of it that I wasn't. So soybeans is done. The YM has hit target 1. Stop is at 211, and the Russell with a that got break even, a loss, and 2 losses. So tough morning on the Russell. YM going through target 2. 182 for the stop. And the micro NQ trade did cancel. Pound Aussie came back to test the entry one more time. Didn't quite get there, but lots of chances to be in this trade on the Pound Aussie. No trades so far on the micro NQ. That get in sync to open our session didn't. It actually went down, and well, yeah, it was already down here. And hit the stop right around our start time, so no trade there. YM still with the stop at, oh, looks, YM stopped out at 182. Wick right there. Right there, coming up to the, just touching the stop at 182. So the YM and soybeans are done. Crude was one and done. Unleaded had a possibility for a one and done session or a 6 trade, pretty much break even would be my guess. Break even and 2 losses on the micro Russell. And another long trade on the micro NQ. This one definitely triggered in. All right, micro NQ back to the entry, as is the pound Aussie again. And a full stop out on the micro NQ, and now a short. So one loss initially on the micro NQ. Definitely in that, just hit the entry again. Another chance to get into the micro NQ trade. Right, 3 charts done. Actually, 4 charts done. Micro NQ testing the 200 EMA, needing to push down through that purple EMA. And there is money management. Stop to 230 flat. Target 2, there's a win for the micro NQ. And starting to trail on the micro NQ. 214 3/4. Alright, target 3 for the micro NQ. Pound Aussie testing its session high again. Session high at 655.9. And we're right about 654 at the moment. Pound Aussie needing 657.3 for money management. It looks like we just got 655.6. Just 17 ticks. not quite able to push through the session high on the pound Aussie. Micro Russell looks like it touched the session low at 0.73. Micro Russell was flirting with 2,000 last week and now is down, getting very close to 1,900. $206.5 for the micro NQ stop. And the micro NQ stopping out at 203/4. And now we have a possible long trade. Hasn't triggered in yet. Well, that will definitely get us positive after an initial loss. This trade is still valid even though it's just touched the stop. It has not hit the entry yet. And we haven't had a crossover back to the short side. So pushed the session high up about 3 ticks on pound Aussie, trying to push up to that money management level. Just 11 ticks away, 57.3 and 59 for the target. And the pound Aussie coming down to test the 20 SMA again. Balance line and 20 SMA. That is a spotlight chart. Micro Russell on a 1.5 point custom Renko bar, 1.5 point brick, 0.5 offset, and a long trade on the Russell. All right, this is a valid long trade. We are in the long on the micro NQ, even though the calculator's not tracking. Calculator's not tracking because the bar after the setup hit both the stop and the entry, but we watched it hit the stop first and then come back up and hit the entry. So this trade is valid. Money management on the Russell trade. And the pound Aussie testing the 50 EMA. Unable to push through significantly on that session high. Pushed it up 3 ticks, but that's not substantial movement. And the micro NQ with a second loss and now in a short trade. And looks like the Russell may have come back and stopped out there. That would be a break-even stop at 10.4. And definitely out now. We did get our 14 tick minimum on this bar as well, so, and we got that before coming back to the stop, so that is a break-even stop at 10.4. So 2 losses, 2 break-evens on the Russell this morning. 1 win, 2 losses on the micro NQ. And in a short. And I believe, yep, micro NQ stopped out for loss number 3, ending the session. That's going to be a loss on the day for the micro NQ. About 4 minutes, under 4 minutes to go for our 10 a.m. crude session. $3.50 now, $2.50 actually. Calculator still tracking the long trade on micro Russell, as it doesn't move the stop until the bar close. But that is a break-even stop out. And my pound Aussie coming through the entry again. 1:35 to go before the crude session. We did touch. Now we have a long trade, same place. (1:05). All right, flat now on crude with 35 seconds to go. Five seconds to go. And we are in our time window. All right, short trade setup on the Russell. Nothing on the crude trade at the moment. Pound Aussie trying to make another run from the 50 up toward the session high. And soybeans crossing over its session open at 13.25 even. One and done this morning on soybeans. Okay, Russell short, crude flat, and pound Aussie still in its long trade. And those are our three active charts. Slow upward trend, but it's going back and forth on the pound Aussie. Real sawtooth trying to slowly, it's real sawtooth drifting slowly upward. And a new session high, getting to 56, and there is money management. And target 1. So pound Aussie will be one and done today. Crude pushing down to new session lows at 80.48, but no trade, unfortunately. We did pick up target 1 on the pound Aussie, now at 96.44 for the stop. $96.47. Trailing stop hiding right in the 20 SMA. I might pull that down to 46. Although given where the price action is, we're going to move up to, looks like 50, probably 58, maybe 59 on the close of this bar, so it really doesn't matter. We're going to push beyond that 20 SMA. Money management on the Russell and target 2, but we're looking for target 3. 1905.6, and setting a new session low. And all three, targets 3 and 4 for the YM. That will be helpful after a couple of losses and 2 break-evens, trailing at 0.72 now. Stop down to 48. I still might hide that at 46 on the pound Aussie. It's just tracking the 20 SMA. So worthwhile hiding it behind that. 0.72 for the YM stop, or the micro Russell stop, M2K. Crude has a long trade. Plenty of chance to get into that. In at 80.71. Hopefully this is not a... This looks like it very well may be a reaction move, but that's also a very strong trend, so a pullback would be expected. And the pound Aussie pushing up close to target 2. 670 for target 2, and we've gotten as high as 669.4. And there it is. Target 2 on the pound Aussie. Looks like we'll move. We got to move up a little bit. We're going to stay at 49. We're going to move up to 49, but that's going to be it. We're not going any higher than that right now. And there it is. Stop moves up to 49. 20 SMA is pushed on bias now. Currently at 65.11. 65, actually 651.1, 651.2. So I'm happy with the 49 stop now. Yes, it is, Krista. That's the current day open high low. You see this dashed yellow line or dashed orange line, depending on the chart. And then the dashed green line is the session high. Yellow or orange is the session open. That's a standard indicator in NinjaTrader. And just information on the chart. And you see pound Aussie going up through the session high. And we did get target 2. Micro Russell 068 for the stop. And crude doesn't know where it's going right now. Yes, I like that indicator too, Krista. It's helpful information. Without being too much on the chart. It gives you some ideas of some areas you want to work around a lot of times too. Looks like we'll move up to 54 on the pound Aussie stop. Next target is at 681. Right, where are we going? And crude stops out. Close of this bar should carry the stop up to 654 on the pound Aussie. Micro Russell stop at 063. And crude stopped out. Full stop out for 27 tick risks. That's a 54 tick loss. And now we have a long setup on crude. Or another long, actually. That touched, so I would push the stop up and push the entry rather up to 60. Yeah, I wouldn't push it up beyond 64. Right there. Money management at 79. That's 78, excuse me. Russell stop, Micro Russell stopped down to 058. And the long on crude did trigger in. See if it will ultimately reverse now. Actually, no, it adjusted, it did not. Excuse me. And if it goes down for a loss again, then that will end the session with 2 losses. Well, 5 pips from target 3 on the pound Aussie. And the stop did move up to 654. Unfortunate spike to the stop on micro NQ is after spiking to the stop, it continued down and hit all 4 targets. Well, it looks like it would have trailed down below target 3. But as the saying goes, if a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump its butt on the ground. Alright, crude did touch the entry unadjusted, but adjusting a tick up has kept us out of the trade. Looks like it's testing its session low again, 6 ticks away. Pound Aussie pushed the session high up 8 ticks. And it's going to have to go more than that to get us to the next target. Micro Russell, Micro NQ, and the YM all setting session lows. Setting new session lows. Crude at session low. Just or close to it. It got down within a tick, but right now it's about 2 ticks, going between 2 and 4 ticks above the session low. Let's see how strong the support is at 1900 on the Micro Russell M2K. Session low currently at 027. Micro Russell stopped to 051. Session low to 020. YM approaching 35,000 mark, sitting at 35,027. Looks like the Pound Aussie stop will come up to 658 on the close of this bar. Pound Aussie moving up to 58. We did stop out at 051 on the micro Russell for trade number 5. We can take one more trade there. Trailing all the way down just shy of target 4, which was 050. So 2.8 points for target 3, 3.4 for target 4, 3.3 on the trailer. Nine and a half points on that micro Russell trade. 95 ticks. With a single micro, that's only about 42.50, or with single contract positions on the micro. At present, we're going to move up to 659 on the close of this bar on the Pound Aussie. It's going to have to push up a bit. Needs 3 more. Need to move the balance line up 3 more ticks before it's going to go up to 62. We're finding some resistance around the 70 to 75 area. 670, 675. Crude still in this. Actually, crude is still getting sync with the second long trade, but has not stopped out. Came within 1. Came down to 80.40, and our stop is at 80.39. So the long trade is still valid. Energy in the short seems to be waning, but it's testing it again. All right. All right, looks like we did get across to the long side on micro Russell, but not. The setup wouldn't have been above the I believe that's a 22 EMA, if memory serves. Yes, that's correct. Setup would have had to have been above the 22 EMA, which was at 9057. And that's actually one tick offset, and actually that was a down bar anyway, so it wouldn't have set up. But we're getting a long cross or short cross on this bar, so a down close will give us another short trade. Pound Aussie did move up to 659, and that is where target 1 was. So all positions are going to get at least target 1. And we just moved up to 64. Stop is right here in the wick of this, the last bar, 664. Taking another shot at the session high. Sitting right around that 675 mark. And there is our short setup on the Russell. Has not triggered in. We just touched the stop, so we'll have to track this manually. Unless we get across to the long side, it cancels the trade. Actually, it's possible we could get a... If this bar goes down, closes down, and then the next bar triggers in, the calculator will track it. Well, crude getting to money management after all of that. And target 1. 17 ticks. We're down 54. And good morning, Mark. And target 2, so we get 17 and 26, 43 of our 54. We're down 11. We can take one more trade. You have a good afternoon, Pamela. You're most welcome. 10 a.m. crude. Down 11 ticks after 2 trades. We've only got about 18 more minutes in the session. Pound Aussie setting a new session high, pushing it up another pip, and pulling back again. Having a really tough time getting through the 675 level. And the Russell now with a long trade, I would push that up to 054. Since it pushed up and touched the entry. So the question is this a consolidation and Pound Aussie continues higher, or will it ultimately be rejected and come back down to the moving averages? All right, we did trigger in. So trade number 6 on the Russell is a long. YM is pushing up, as is the micro NQ, but we've got to push through. YM has pushed through its 50 EMA. Micro NQ and micro Russell have yet to hit theirs. And the Pound Aussie stops out at 664, ending that session. So that just leaves the micro Russell. This being the last trade, I'll stick around for it, and then we'll call it a morning. Crude oil inventory session tomorrow at 10:30. Regular session at 9:30. When you're setting up your trading workspace, I would try to put the chart you're trading immediately to the left of the data box, so you've got things very close to where you're looking at them. I have to set it up on the left because of the way it handles when I maximize charts. Like we're working with this micro Russell chart, so if I maximize it, I've got to leave the data box on top, so otherwise it would be covering up the right edge of the chart. So that's why I leave it on the left. But you should be setting up your trading workspace so you got plenty of room. Initially you'll just be looking at a single chart, or maybe two or three. You can put the data box on the right side and stripe your charts to the left of that. Alright, Micro Russell trying to make a run here. Micro NQ and YM also looking up, moving upwards, so that's a good sign. Target 1 and just below the 50 EMA, but we'll have to move through that to get to target 3, obviously. Alright, we're done on the pound Aussie, although that's a nice little short trade. Although I wouldn't want to get into that trade just above the 50 EMA. Given the character of that market this morning, I'd expect that is just a reaction. As part of that sawtooth up move. Crude still trailing up on the long trade. Actually, we're 13 ticks down because of the adjustment we made. Waiting for this trade to finish so we can pick up a new trade. Crude reaching up to the 200 EMA at 81.16. And this is a little bit larger trade. That's target 1. That is at actually 16 ticks. 1907. So stop is at 504. It's a dead break even. Key level 505 back down to 504. $80.92 for the crude trailer. and a close above the 50 on the micro Russell, and then pulling back below. Micro NQ and the YM both showing some hesitation here as well. If we can get a target here, that will put us positive on the morning for 6 trades. Won't be big, but it'll at least be positive. But at the moment we're just 7 ticks down on the micro Russell. That one big winner offsetting 2 losses, 1 big winner and 2 break evens. Actually, if we're going to be break even on this one. We did pick up our tick for 3 positions, but this one is going to be exactly a break even if it stops out here. So currently down 7. And just waiting for this one to finish up. Not pulling back too hard. Micro NQ pull out, and the micro NQ's kind of back into the neutral area. Target 2. That's not a big enough target 2. It's only 2.6. Our normal target 3 is 2.8, so I wouldn't move my targets on that one. Trade's not big enough for that. So looking for target 3. Forget where the trail start position is. Yeah, 70% to target 1, minimum 14 ticks. So we should start trailing here very shortly. We've gone through target 1 and our 14, and we're over 14 ticks. So there's our break-even trade. We're trailing 6 ticks there, and there it is. 105.9 and getting missing target by 1 tick. Being as we're this close to break even, now let's see, we've got 3 positions on at 059 from 054. It's 412. That we're at 5 ticks positive, so we will get positive. And crude picking up its final trade in a final short. That target 3 is worth 3.5, so I would definitely trade that one for profit. If we come back up to that 088 again, market out that one position, not the whole trade, just the one position. I missed the 3.8 point target by 1 tick, 38 tick target by 1 tick. And crude picking up a target 1, 14 ticks. So that brings us 1 tick positive. And since we've hit target, I'd bring my stop to 98. I'm not going to leave those 2 ticks of risk on since we've already gotten a target. And there's full target 3 on the micro Russell. 065. So we were down 7, we picked up 35, we're up 28 now. 2 positions remaining. Target 4 at 098, and we got there. So that's another 4.4. So we're up 7.2 with the trailing position on at 069 from 054. So that's another 1.5 points. 8.7 at the moment. So this trade's going to be almost as good, if not better, depending on where we stop out. This trade will be as profitable as the earlier winning trade, the winning short, just going off the screen, beginning to go off the screen there. 107.4 now. 2 full points. 9.2. And we got 9.5 on that last trade, so Now we're up 9.2. This trade actually has earned even more than that. It's earned 9.9, I believe. 3.5, 4.4, 7.9, yeah. And we're at 0.79, so 2.5. 9.4 or 10.4 earned so far, and still trailing. So 9.7 is our positive, and target 2 on crude for another 22 points. 23 point net on 3 trades, 23 tick net on 3 trades. And another winning trade on the pound Aussie. Targets 1 and 2 this time. And trailing, of course, halfway between entry and target 1. .083 for the Micro Russell stop now. 2.9. And 3.4. 0.88. $13.3 earned. 12. 12.6 points net gain on the day. And crude is done. So basically we're just waiting for to see how much we get on the trailer on the M2K, but everything else is done. And the this is the last trade, win or lose, on the M2K, because that's Micro Russell. This is trade number 6 in the trade plan. So this will end it for the day on this one as well, when this trade stops out. 12.6 points in hand already. $5 a point. Gives us $63. And 093. 3.9. So that's 13.1 ticks positive. 65.50. And 0.98. To 44, 4.4. 13.6. 68. And testing the 200 EMA. So we'll see what this does. YM and the micro NQ also pushing upwards, with it currently hesitating. So all three indices trading similarly this morning, trading down to their session lows and bouncing now. All right, we are hour and a half in, it looks like. Yeah. So it's time to call it a morning. Definitely a win on the micro Russell. And we will see everybody tomorrow at 9:30. 10:30 for the crude oil inventory report. And you're most welcome, John. Most welcome, Robert. You have a good one too, Miles. Krista, we'll see you shortly in the CEO Trader Mastermind group. And we're trailer up to 10.3. 4.9 points, and pushing through the 200 EMA, or at least trying to. Everybody have a good one. We'll see everybody tomorrow, or later today or tomorrow, and depending on those in the CEO Trader Mastermind group. Have a good afternoon. Not much of the morning left, just another hour. And we will see you tomorrow morning.